Imagine standing on a modern beach, phone in hand, waves rolling in like they always have. And then the ocean suddenly goes quiet. Seagulls scatter. Boats in the distance slow to a stop. The water darkens, not because of clouds, but because something massive is rising from below. A shape longer than a bus, thicker than a truck, moving with calm, terrifying confidence. This isn't a movie. This isn't a fossil reconstructed in a museum. This is a Mosasaurus alive, breathing, hunting in the 21st century. The world would change in a single afternoon. Mosasaurus wasn't just a big sea reptile. It was the undisputed ruler of the late Cretaceous oceans, a living torpedo built for dominance. Nearly 15 meters long, jaws packed with conical teeth designed to grip and tear, eyes adapted for murky depths, and a body shaped to explode forward in sudden bursts of speed. If these creatures somehow survived the mass extinction and quietly endured into modern times, the oceans we think we know would become something else, entirely older, darker, and far more dangerous. At first, humanity wouldn't even realize what was happening. Ships would go missing. Not dramatic sinkings, just disappearances. A cargo vessel loses contact in deep water. A fishing boat found drifting, hull damaged, nets shredded, no crew in sight. Investigators would blame storms, pirates, equipment failure, insurance companies would argue. News cycles would move on. But the ocean would remember. Mosasaurus would not roam randomly. It would reclaim ancient hunting grounds, continental shelves. Deep coastal waters, places where currents funnel prey into predictable paths. Ironically, these are the same places humans love to fish, drill, and build shipping routes. The overlap would be inevitable. Commercial fishing would be hit first. Tuna, sharks, seals, natural prey for a mosasaur would suddenly vanish from certain regions. Sonar readings would show impossible shadows moving beneath trawlers. Nets would come back, torn apart as if something massive bit straight through steel cables. Crews would report seeing a ridged back break the surface, followed by a tail powerful enough to throw water like an explosion. Many would quit. Others would be told to keep quiet. Then the videos would leak. A shaky phone clip from a cruise ship, a dark shape pacing the vessel, just under the surface, easily matching speed. A sudden lunge upward, jaws snapping shut inches from the hull, screaming, cut to black. Within hours, the internet would do what it always does: argue whether it's real, CGI, they'd say, viral marketing, fake, until another video appears, and another. From different oceans, different angles, different countries. Science would enter panic mode. Marine biologists would scramble to explain how an apex reptilian predator thought extinct for 66 million years could still exist. Geneticists would theorize about deep-sea refuges, isolated ecosystems, extreme slow reproduction, or unknown evolutionary branches. Governments would classify data. Militaries would deploy submarines not to hunt, but to observe, and quickly realize that these creatures can track sound, vibrations, and movement far better than expected. A mosasaurus wouldn't attack everything it sees. That's the most terrifying part. It would be intelligent enough to conserve energy, to avoid unnecessary risks, to learn. It survived an era filled with giant sharks and rival marine reptiles. A steel ship is strange, but not invincible, especially when it makes noise. Coastal cities would feel the fear next. Tourist beaches would close after repeated unknown marine threat warnings. Surfing, diving, and open water swimming would become extreme sports overnight. Sonar buoys would be installed near popular shores, not to track storms but to listen. A low-frequency alert would become the new tsunami siren. One long tone means get out of the water immediately. Two means evacuate the coast. And yet, people would still go. Some for thrills, some for fame, some because humans have always tested the edges of danger. Influencers would chase sightings. Poachers would dream of the ultimate trophy. Black markets would whisper about mosasaur teeth, scales, even eggs if eggs exist. Each encounter would end the same way, with the reminder that this animal is not a monster, not evil, not enraged. It's just doing what it has always done. Hunt, rule, survive. The ecological impact would be enormous. Modern marine ecosystems are not prepared for a predator like this. Whales might be safe due to size, but young or sick individuals would be vulnerable. Sharks would suddenly become prey instead of competition. Entire food chains would shift as mosasaurs thin populations of mid-level predators, allowing some species to explode while others collapse. Coral reefs could suffer as balance disappears. In some regions, oceans might recover in unexpected ways, as overfished species get relief. In others, chaos would reign. Humans would face a brutal question. Do we try to eliminate them, or do we adapt? Killing a mosasaurus wouldn't be easy. Missiles are expensive and politically dangerous. Hunting them could destabilize oceans further. And once the world accepts that these creatures are living relics of Earth's deep past, public opinion would fracture. One side would call them a threat to humanity. The other would call them sacred survivors, proof that nature still has secrets beyond our control. Protected zones would be declared, massive stretches of ocean where ships are banned. Fishing is illegal, and military patrols keep watch. New shipping lanes would snake across the globe, longer, and more expensive, but safer. Submarine tech would advance rapidly. Quiet propulsion would become essential. Ocean travel would slow down, becoming cautious again, like the age of sail but with satellites overhead and ancient predators below. Children would grow up knowing the word Mosasaurus the same way we know shark, except heavier, scarier, older. Documentaries would change tone. No longer what once ruled the seas, but what still does. Museums would rewrite exhibits. Fossils would no longer represent extinction, but ancestry. Paleontology would become the most exciting field in science overnight, because if Mosasaurus survived, what else did? And deep down, in the places sunlight never reaches, the Mosasaurs would continue on, largely indifferent to our fear, our debates, our technology. They existed long before cities, before planes, before plastic and noise and oil slicks. To them, humanity would be a strange new disturbance on the surface of an ancient world. Every time the ocean goes calm for no reason, every time sonar blips and then goes silent, every time a shadow moves where it shouldn't, we would be reminded of one uncomfortable truth. The oceans were never ours. We just borrowed them during a quiet age that would end the moment Mosasaurus reminded us who ruled the seas first, and who still might.